Well, well, well. Good day, our beloveds. It is not morning. It is not night. It just is. And this bleeds on to our first three messages in this series, which is the grace, gratitude, and forgiveness series. So we had a small glitch today because Facebook said that number 2 went against community standards. And so we shall record today, but we must wait for resolution before we can post number 3, as it makes sense to post a series in the correct order where energetically it leads you down the primrose path to your end desired destination. So we shall record because our another is interested in doing so, but it will be one of the other 2 in the hopper. So here goes. Why is grace, why is gratitude, and why is forgiveness of any importance to humanity as a whole as compared to the individual? Well, we are all one at the end of the day, right? Isn't that the belief system or the concept in this spiritual world? Also in many other religious texts that you may not have come across. But the point being is, it does not matter what others think. It matters what you think and the why of it all. So if you are connected to your Aunt Betsy and your Uncle Joe and your cousin Tommy, and your friend and your teacher, and your boss and your pastor, if you are all one, then wouldn't it make sense to create an energetic connection whereby you resonate with one another? And is that easier to achieve when you are in a state of grace, or when you are in a state of grumpiness? You have difficulty connecting to others when you are grumpy, cranky, irritable, because your energy is not inviting or creating cohesion. Yet when you are in a state of grace and gratitude, you exude that wondrous energetic imprint that draws others to you, that makes them feel safe within your sphere of influence, and it just simply feels good for you as well as for the others. Now, what if you have a fake grace or a fake gratitude attitude, right? Or it's just all here, bless your hearts. Well, that may not achieve its intended result as a whole, but it sure is still better than the FU MFers, right? You get the message. At least one says the words of appeasement, though the energetic imprint behind it is anything but, right? Now, we have said before, and another is pointing this out to us, well, but it goes to the intention and saying bless your heart when you are not intentional versus F off. When it is meant from a place of playfulness, differs greatly. Well, here we are talking about where you really do mean the F off in a very caustic way, therefore rejecting any kind of interconnectivity with the individual. So now, when you drink a sweet tea, something soothing, something pleasant to your palate, you just kind of expand into that. If it's the right temperature, if it's the right sweetness, if it's the right flavor, if it just meets that satisfactory desire of your palate, it's just perfection. Now picture you think you're going to drink a sweet tea and it's pickle juice or lemon juice or something very acidic. sense the difference in your body's reaction to that. Well, that is what we are talking about here. When you create a space of inclusivity from your own energetic imprint, it matters because it invites others into your sphere of influence. They feel safe and protected in your presence. If you speak with people in general and you don't criticize or judge others, if you just simply are loving and accepting, you may point out factual things, but without a judgment, such as, oh, you were speeding and therefore you got a ticket. You're not saying you are bad. You are not saying you deserve that ticket. You are simply stating a fact, which is you were speeding and you got a ticket, right? How is that working for you? Well, that type of behavior where you don't judge others, it allows people to feel safe within your sphere of influence. And this matters because the more you can trust the world around you, the more you can relax into your own essence. Now, granted, you all have so much programming from your childhood, which directs and dictates much of what you see around you, much of what you believe is occurring around you, and much of what you think is right or wrong. But even within that context, if you can create a space of inclusion instead of exclusion, it matters. So that is at the most basic core level of why grace and gratitude and also forgiveness matter, because you are showing others that they are safe within your sphere of influence. And that is how we begin to create community again, where we are simply kind and loving and exert a different type of control over people. Now you're thinking, exerting control, isn't that abusive or isn't that bad? Well, it depends upon your intention. If your intention is to control them, yes, then that is bad. But if you are intending to exert control by offering a safe space for people to come, to heal, to reflect, you are exerting control by denying access to those who are harmful and exclusionary and who just simply don't fit the vibe. So yeah, exerting control is just another way of saying setting boundaries. You are only welcome if you are willing to abide by our rules, which is inclusivity, generosity, kindness, loving attention to self and others. You understand now what we are saying. So just imagine an entire cosmos where that was the standard by which you all operated. It would look vastly different than what currently exists here on Mother Earth, because you guys are exclusionary. You are judgmental. You are win-lose in your approach oftentimes. The more I can win, the more you must lose. And that makes me feel like I am better than you. You all have some pretty odd standards and processes that you follow in order to consider yourself successful, right? But we are shifting the energetic imprint in Mother Earth, and we are bringing about a shift and a change and a plan that will allow the gardens to grow more, to produce more, for you to harvest more, for you to share more, for you to produce more, for you to exclude no one ultimately, until all are invited into the Garden of Eden, which never really was taken from you. It was chosen to not be worthy because the desire was self over others ultimately. if you could just simply recognize that there is enough to go around, that collaboration is better than competition, and that you all are one, then you will get there much quicker. But there is resistance from many because this is not the vibrational imprint within which you were raised or birthed or taught, or that life even expressed itself within your own collective journeys. And we are here now trying to right the ship, to get you guys going in a different direction. And to be honest, it's much like herding cats. You guys are so independent, fiercely independent in so many ways that it is very difficult right now, because this is a time of individuality, but it is not meant to be at the exclusion of the collective. But getting you all to sing in harmony, though it may be your own unique song, it's a challenge, but it is one that we all signed up for, and that none of us will get out of here alive anyway without learning some of these skills, whether we choose it or not. So believe in yourself and in your ability to collaborate with others, to cohabitate with others, and to offer grace when you are finally there. You are just to find that peaceful spot within your own soul where you feel protected and safe, and where you feel like you can invite others into your experience as well. And when you can do that and others can do that, the ripple effect will be magnanimous, which is the word of the year for 2022. We shall leave you all on this last word. Blessings. Blessings to you all. And so it is. Namaste.